I want to tell you about a specific day in my life. I was 26 years old. I had saved $174,000. I had not bought a house. I had not bought a car. I had not taken a vacation. I had done one thing for 8 straight years. I had fed the machine. And on that day, not dramatically, not with any fanfare, something flipped. The money I had accumulated started generating more new money than I was adding with my own hands. Capital was outworking labor. The machine was running faster than I could feed it. That was the day compounding became real for me. Not a concept, not a formula on a blackboard, a lived, felt, undeniable reality. And here is what I have spent decades observing. Most people never reach that day, not because they don't earn enough, not because they don't understand the math, but because they make a specific set of mistakes that reset the clock every time they get close. They climb the hill and slide back over and over without ever understanding why. Today we are going to fix that. We are going to talk about what compounding actually is, not the textbook version, the real version. We're going to talk about the 5 mistakes that keep people from reaching the inflection point. And we are going to talk about what changes the day you finally cross it. This is not about getting rich fast. This is about understanding the one mathematical force that separates the people who build wealth from the people who just earn money their entire lives. Let's begin. Einstein, and I have quoted him on this before, called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. People hear that. They nod. They move on. They do not actually feel it in their bones. Let me try to make you feel it. Compounding is not about interest rates. It is not about percentages. At its core, compounding is about one thing: your gains producing their own gains. Not you producing gains, your previous gains producing new gains, without your involvement, without your hours, without your labor. Here is the simplest version I know. You put $10,000 into an investment. It earns 10% of $1,000 in year one. Now you have $11,000. In year two, the 10% applies to $11,000, not $10,000. You earn $1,100. You did not work harder. The base grew. Year three, 10% of $12,100. You earn $1,210. The number you earn per year keeps rising even though your effort is zero, even though your rate of return is identical. That is the mechanism. Simple, almost boring when described, violent in its long-term effect. Over 30 years, that original $10,000 at 10% becomes $174,000, not because you added a dollar, because you left it alone. Now here is where most people go wrong. They look at year $1,000 and they feel nothing. They look at year 3 to 2,210 and they feel nothing. Because those numbers feel small. And so they interrupt the process. They spend the gains. They pull the principal. They reset to zero. What they never see is year 25. Year 25 on that same $10,000 produces over $10,000 in a single year. The annual return has exceeded the original investment, but you only reach year 25 if you survived years 1 through 24 without resetting the clock. That is the whole game. Not picking the right stock, not finding the perfect rate, surviving long enough without interrupting the process. The enemy of compounding is not a bad market, it is impatience. Why most people never reach the inflection point. I call them clock resets. Every time one of these happens, you do not just lose money, you lose time. And time in compounding is the only input that matters. Clock reset 1, the lifestyle upgrade. You get a raise. Your income goes up $500 a month. And within 90 days, your expenses go up $500 a month. New car payment. Better apartment. More eating out. The number in your bank account stays the same. The compounding base does not grow. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. I call it the silent clock reset because nobody announces it. There is no moment of decision. It just happens, gradually, naturally, invisibly. And every dollar absorbed by lifestyle inflation is a dollar that will never compound. The people who build wealth share one uncommon habit. They let the gap between income and spending grow every time their income rises. They bank the raise every time, not some of it, most of it. Clock reset, too, the emergency that wasn't prepared for. The car breaks down, the roof leaks, the medical bill arrives, and because there is no buffer, the only option is to liquidate investments. You sell the asset, you reset the base, you start over. This is not bad luck. This is a structural failure, and it is entirely preventable. A 3 to 6 month emergency fund is not a conservative suggestion. It is the shield that protects the compounding engine from the randomness of real life. Without it, you are one bad month away from destroying years of progress. Clock reset 3. The dead anchor. There is a version of compounding that works against you. Credit card debt at 22% is compounding. Car loans, buy now, pay later, payday debt, all of it is compounding in reverse. Every day you carry high interest debt, you are running the compounding engine backwards. You are paying interest on interest. The balance grows while you sleep. And here's the brutal math. No legal investment reliably returns 22% per year, which means if you are investing in an index fund while carrying a credit card balance, you are earning 7% on one side and losing 22% on the other. The net is deeply negative. The math is not complicated, but the behavior is seductive. Because investing feels productive and paying down debt feels like losing. Kill the debt first, always. It is the highest guaranteed return available to you. Clock reset 4. The speculation detour. Compounding requires time, real time, decade-length time. But slow time is uncomfortable, so people look for shortcuts. The hot stock, the cryptocurrency everyone is talking about, the friend's business opportunity, the investment seminar with the guaranteed returns. These are not shortcuts. They are detours. Because even when they work, and occasionally they do, the winnings rarely get reinvested systematically. They get spent, they get celebrated, they get put into the next speculation, and when they don't work, which is most of the time, the clock resets to zero, sometimes below zero. I have watched brilliant people destroy 10 years of patient accumulation in a single speculative quarter. The math of compounding rewards boredom, it punishes excitement. If your investment strategy is interesting to talk about at dinner, it is probably the wrong strategy. Clock reset 5. The premature victory lap. You save for 3 years. You hit $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. And the brain says, you earned this. Reward yourself. The vacation, the renovation, the car upgrade, the generous gift that empties the account. This is the most heartbreaking reset because it comes from a genuine sense of achievement. You did the hard work. You delayed the gratification, you built the base, and then you spent it. What most people do not understand is that the $50,000 you spent at year 3 was not just $50,000. At 7% compounding over 25 years, that $50,000 was $271,000. You did not buy a vacation. You bought a vacation and gave away $221,000. The seed is not the reward. The harvest is the reward. Eating the seed guarantees there is no harvest. I want to describe something that does not get talked about enough. There is a specific moment in the compounding journey, not a year, not a decade, a specific point where the character of your financial life changes. It is the inflection point. Before the inflection point, you are the engine. You put in money, you get out a return. Your labor drives the machine. After the inflection point, the machine drives itself. Your capital is generating more new wealth per year than your active contributions. For most people in a standard index fund, this point arrives somewhere around $150,000 to $250,000, depending on their contribution rate and return. At $200,000 earning 7%, the portfolio generates $14,000 per year in growth. If you are contributing $1,000 a month, $12,000 per year, the portfolio is now growing faster from returns than from your deposits. The machine has taken over, and something changes psychologically at that moment. Not dramatically, not overnight, but a quiet shift occurs in how you relate to money. You stop feeling anxious about the market because you understand you are playing a long game, and the long game has always been won by patience. You stop feeling urgency to spend because the number growing in the account has become more satisfying than what the spending would buy. You start seeing every dollar differently, not as a unit of consumption, as a unit of future freedom. A $50 dinner is not $50. It is $50 that will not compound for the next 20 years. It is $193 in future purchasing power. This is not obsession, this is clarity, and it produces a completely different quality of decision. The question is not how to find the best investment. The question is how to stay in the game long enough for compounding to do its work. Here are the rules I have lived by. Rule 1. Automate before you can spend it. The biggest enemy of compounding is discretion. If the money sits in your account, your brain will find a reason to spend it. Remove the discretion. Set an automatic transfer to your investment account on the day your paycheck arrives. Before you see it, before you budget around it, before it becomes available for another purpose. Pay the future first. Let the present live on what remains. Rule 2. Never measure compounding in months. The returns in any given month are noise. The returns in any given year are barely signal. The returns over a decade are where the pattern emerges. People who check their portfolio daily are training themselves to react to noise, and reaction is the enemy of compounding. Set your contributions, set your allocation, then look quarterly. At most, let the machine run without supervision. Rule 3. Raise contributions every time income rises. Every raise, every bonus, every side income. A fixed percentage goes straight to the machine before lifestyle has a chance to absorb it. I suggest a simple rule. For every dollar your income rises, 50 cents goes to future investment, not because you cannot enjoy the raise, because the compounding base must grow if the inflection point is going to arrive in your lifetime. Rule 4. Protect the base at all costs. The base is the principal, the seed corn, the core that everything else compounds from. No emergency should touch it. That is what the emergency fund is for. No speculation should touch it. That is what patience is for. No victory lap should touch it. That is what discipline is for. If the base is safe, time does the rest. If the base keeps getting reset, time becomes your enemy instead of your ally. Rule 5. Trust the math, not the mood. There will be years when the market falls 30%. There will be months when every headline tells you the system is broken. In those moments, the emotional response is to sell, to protect what remains, to wait for certainty before reinvesting. That response is exactly wrong. A market crash for someone in the accumulation phase is a sale. Shares are cheaper. Your monthly contribution buys more of them. The future return on today's purchase is higher. The people who got wealthy through compounding are not the ones who avoided the crashes. They are the ones who did not sell during them. Surviving the crash is the skill, not predicting it. Let me close with a question I want you to sit with. If compounding is this powerful, and the math is irrefutable, why do so few people actually experience it? Not because they don't earn enough, not because they don't have access to the markets, because they reset the clock again and again. With lifestyle inflation and emergency spending and speculation and premature celebration and high interest debt running in the background, the inflection point is not rare because it is hard to reach. It is rare because of everything that happens on the way there. All the moments where the seed looks more valuable as a meal than as a future harvest. I have lived long enough to know one thing clearly. The people sitting comfortably at 80 are almost never the ones who earned the most at 40. They are the ones who interrupted the clock the fewest times. That is the whole secret. Protect the base. Feed the machine. Let time finish the job you started. The day it starts working for you instead of the other way around, that is the day everything changes. Most people miss it. You don't have to. Thanks for watching.